Today in the studio, we have Matthew Diaz, and as a top prospect, he wanted to go to college and play Division One football. Gets injured, and now instead of going to college, he's buying properties and renting them to college students. This is the story. Today we have Matthew Diaz in the studio. He's 19 years old. And instead of going to college and looking for housing, he's providing housing to other kids that are going to college. So this is going to be a fun and interesting conversation. So Matthew, welcome, bud.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
And I'm
definitely. No, it's
excited.
exciting. So we were talking as we got started
Yeah.
that at 19 years old, how the heck did you end up kind of with us in real estate?
So to keep it a long story short, I met Zach. I'm sure everybody knows him, and he really put a seed in my life. Started planting it when I was about 16 in high school.
Okay.
Started telling me what he did for a living, and once I graduated high school, found out about mastery. Went to the 3-day in July or August of 2023.
2023. Okay.
So I joined that year, and then went to class, 10-week class of kind of felt like school again. And that same after graduating from that class, got my first flip.
Okay, so hold on. Before we get into your kind of first flip and real estate, in terms of in high school,
Yeah.
right? Who were you in high school?
I was the kicker for the football team.
Okay.
I'm not trying to boost my own horn, but I was one of the well-known people in that school.
Okay.
And
And you were pretty good.
yeah, I was becoming one of the top kickers in the nation.
Okay. So you were kind of trying to go to like Division A school kind of thing?
Yeah, I was trying to go Division One.
Division 1. Okay.
It's Power Five, so like the top colleges in of the state.
Okay.
U of I, Northwestern,
Okay.
University of Wisconsin, all that.
Got it. And then what about grades?
I straight A's almost all my life.
Okay.
4.6 GPA when I graduated. Got a 30 on my ACT.
Okay. So you're a smart kid.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, and you went to a private school, small, like Catholic school kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to St. Lawrence High School.
St. Lawrence, okay. So, Matthew, you're a good student in school,
Yeah.
right? You had a really good ACT score, and you were a really good athlete as a kicker, and you wanted to play D1 in college, right? D1 football. So, why did you not end up in college?
So my senior year, I started taking the recruitment process serious. Obviously, goals and dreams of playing Division One football.
Right.
And so after the football season, which is in fall,
Right.
I started going to camps, showcases, started showing out nationally. I did a showcase in Las Vegas in January of my senior year, placed in like the top 8th of the country.
In the
But,
country?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At that showcase,
Sure.
there was about 300 kickers there from
Okay.
all over, all ages. And then that's when I started getting emails, calls. I started reaching out more to colleges, trying to get myself out there. And then I started a recruitment process with Boulder, Colorado,
Okay.
after Dion got there.
Okay.
And then they kind of with everything, they probably found their guy, and I got ghosted.
Okay.
And to top that off, I actually got injured.
Okay.
I almost tore my hamstring.
Okay.
So that's when I already had conversations with my parents about my only motivation to go to school is
Sure.
to go play.
Okay.
And if I don't end up like somewhere where I want to be, I don't think I want to go to school.
Okay. Got it.
So then got injured, and that was the cherry on the top. Like that was like, okay, yeah, I don't want to go to college.
Got it. Okay. So basically, that was kind of the motivation was, hey, I want to go to college and I want to play. That's my motivation. And when kind of that disappeared, so a lot of times when something like that happens, right, people are really passionate about some sort of sport and they don't get in. Was that like a huge letdown? Did you have time to go, oh my God, I'm depressed, that sort of thing? Did that happen?
Not necessarily depressed, but I do till this day. I still get goosebumps of like watching just this past weekend. It was or on Monday actually. It was national championship for the college. And when I see the kickers out there, or I see videos, or even some movies of recruitment,
Absolutely.
I get goosebumps. And there's times where I even get a little bit emotional. But
Right.
other than that, I mean, I saw it as a part in my life that kind of pushed me towards where I am today.
No, I mean, it's like one of those things. Like sometimes it's like the coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? And then also your body, luck, a lot of things have to align, right? And the kind of the nice part about business, real estate success, like you get a lot of chances.
Yeah.
In something like this, right?
There's no chance.
You have to be born under the right lucky star. You have to be the right sort of a sports program. Then your body has to cooperate, and everything doesn't line up perfectly, right? And the odds are one in hundreds of thousands, right? And that's that. And then to go to the pros, forget about that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a whole, that's a whole different
story.
thing, right? But for a lot of people, that happens, and their identity becomes a football player or basketball player, and they have a very hard time, going past that. But I mean, something like you said, to go back and reminisce, you're like, man, that'd been cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
That's
who
really
gets
all
the-
it is.
Yeah.
I think I look back at it, man, like that would have been a nice story to tell my
Right.
kids one day, or my grandkids. Played Division I football at
Right.
one of the top colleges in the country.
Right.
But other than that, I just saw it as like whatever happens, and
Right.
it
No, you
happened
have
for
a
a
very,
reason.
I mean, I don't know where you get this from, but you clearly have a very kind of a grounded approach to the whole thing, because that kind of stuff can go really to somebody's head.
Yeah.
And then you decided to go into real estate and not into college.
Yeah.
So how did
Basically.
that go over with your parents?
Well, that wasn't originally the plan.
Okay.
Dad having a landscape business for 30 years, I was going to start my own pressure washing business at first. I didn't
Okay.
think I was going to get into real estate this quick.
Okay.
And then again, like I said, with Zach, he introduced me to it, and it pretty much just took off from there.
Okay. Got it. So Zach introduces you to it, and your parents were like, okay, they were okay if you did not end up in college.
Yeah, they actually were. They knew I would get my stuff together, and that they wouldn't have to worry about, he doesn't know what he wants to do in life.
Okay. So you were pretty focused in terms of what you want to achieve.
Essentially, yes.
Okay. Got it. So you end up at the 3-day, right? You see a bunch of people doing a lot of deals, young, old, everything in between.
Yeah.
Right? And you decide the first property you were going to do was a flip in Evergreen Park.
Correct.
So how did that go?
That when it was kind of horrible.
It was kind of horrible. Okay.
Everything that could have gone bad went bad on that property.
Okay. Explain what happened.
So I purchased the house.
And this is when you're 19 years old, man.
I was 18 at the time.
Oh, you're
actually.
18 at the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got the house when I was 18. I have an earlier birthday, so
Okay.
bought it before I was
Got it.
turned 19.
Okay.
Bought the house, had my scope of work, knew what I wanted to do. I actually kind of tackled it as my own general contractor.
Mm-hmm.
I outsourced some work, and then there was a lot of the cosmetic stuff that I did myself. And my parents actually helped me on numerous things, so very thankful for them to be by my side.
Okay.
And to start off, first big issue that happened was there was a boiler baseboard heating system. Boiler was old. I mean, you can't even tell when it was made.
And this property was in Evergreen Park, so this is kind of outskirts of Chicago.
Yes.
Okay,
And
got it.
to talk about Evergreen Park, I mean, it's a very difficult neighborhood to work with.
Sure.
The town hall, I mean, you need $10,000 bond to start.
Cash bond.
Cash bond.
Okay, got
So it's cashier's check or cash to them that gets stuck in the deal before you even start wasting any money on rehab,
Got it.
just to pull permits. And then not to mention, they want scope of work for everything you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And without saying anything, they want you to pull permits for plumbing and electrical. So you need licensed contractors for those.
Okay.
So it starts off with the baseboard heat.
Mm-hmm.
Got it fixed up because there was some bursts we didn't catch on the inspection before I purchased. There were some bursts on the first floor. So we got the whole first floor brand new. And then went through, that was before that winter. So then that winter, January, I believe it was like second week of January, freezing temperatures, just like we just witnessed a couple days ago. Everything, the whole house burst.
All
So
the
that
all the
was
pipes, everything.
everything.
Wow. Okay.
So
So this is kind of
that
like
turned
your
in from
introduction to real estate.
yeah, that it turned in from I'm gonna save 5,000-6,000 for plumbing into the whole house needs new plumbing and we need new HVAC system.
Got it.
So that quickly from 5 to 6, putting in there just for leisure, turned into 10, 15, 20.
Okay. Got it. So basically, what did you buy the property for?
I bought it for 145.
145. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how did you borrow a loan? How did you fund it?
Yeah, I funded it with Mastery Private Money Lending.
Okay.
Dr. Ali,
Dr. Ali gave you a loan.
yes.
Okay. All
I
right.
was his 100th loan. He
Oh,
likes
100th
to,
loan. He gave. Okay.
he
Got
likes
it.
to boast about that. And how it worked out was I borrowed 175,
Okay.
so it was 25,000 in escrow for rehab.
Okay.
And with the support of my parents, I had about 25 of their money
Okay.
in escrow
So
for
you
rehab.
borrowed most of the money from Dr. Ali.
Yeah.
Some
For my parents.
money you had to kind of borrow from your parents because you went over budget.
Well, this
that
was
was the deal.
before we
Okay.
even closed
Got it.
on the deal.
Got it.
It was agreed upon. Being my first deal, Dr.
Sure.
Ali was a little shaky hands, which is completely understandable.
Right.
So he said, "I will fund purchase price and then half of rehab, essentially." Well, we had planned for
Got it.
half of rehab,
Got it.
and so we start the deal. It took me about, all in all, it took me a little over 6 months, but kind of didn't go our way because I actually bought the house in October. We went to Mexico that winter, so we're like, oh, when we come back, we'll get started, and it's gonna take us a month. No worries.
Good.
Little did I know it's gonna take me 2-3 months of work. So from purchase to sale, it was about 6 months.
Purchase to sell was it? But still, I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. So how much were you over in terms of your rehab budget?
So to talk, I had to pay back Dr. Ali's loan, it's $175, and then my parents got a check for $45, and they didn't charge me interest, so
Okay.
I got lucky on that part. But I was all in. What is that? 45 plus 25. That's about 70
70, yeah.
in rehab.
Okay. So you were 70 in rehab. And then when you sold the property, how much did you make?
I walked away with a $35,000 check.
35. So let's just say, in all fairness, your parents had charged you interest, right?
Yeah.
Then still, it wouldn't have much interest, right? It's maybe a couple $1,000, $2,000-3,000 in
It would
interest,
have been,
right? But still, so I mean, man, that's not bad,
yeah,
right?
for
I mean, that's pretty damn good.
18, 19 years old at
Yeah.
the time.
I mean, that's great, right? And to get your hands wet and for stuff to go wrong. And now, when things started to go wrong, you ever kind of doubt yourself, go, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And all the self-doubt type of thoughts, did they come in? Were your parents like, oh, I'm not sure. Is it going to work? Is it not? Did that happen?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I towards the end, even when I started having inspections,
Right.
I failed once on each.
Right.
Plumbing actually failed twice.
Mhm.
That's a whole nother story of
Sure.
I had a plumber run off with money.
Okay.
He did work, but he ran off, so I had to get someone else in again.
Okay. So
To
you
finish
kind
the
of
job.
went through the whole gambit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So, it's one of those things where now, why you made it through? Do you think it was you? You're that strong-minded? Is it your parents that helped you through it? You took some help from other people from Mastery? What do you think the thing is?
Well, there was only one way out, which was finishing it.
Right.
It was a mixture of I saw it through
Right.
despite all the hardships.
Right.
But it was also I have my parents' money in this deal.
Right.
I have their savings
Right.
in here too. It's not like, and then another one is Dr. Ali's money too,
Sure.
the private money lenders.
So you have
So
that
it's like,
pressure on
yeah,
your
I
head that, hey man, I gotta see this through.
For sure, because I was over 200 in the hole. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to finish this deal because
Okay.
that money's
Right.
not gonna appear in
No,
my
no,
lap.
good. I'm glad because see that sense of responsibility, that sense of I have to do the right thing, come hell or high water, right? Doesn't matter how painful it is, and a lot of times in business, it's that mental toughness is probably more important than anything else, right? That you got to start learning that you have to be mentally tough, right? Because sometimes
And
these things are going to happen. So
and to add to that, like I mean, mental toughness, you don't really learn that in
no,
school.
you don't. You don't.
I mean, I've gone through physical toughness. I
Sure.
mean, being on the football team,
Right.
running all day at practice. I mean, even though I was a kicker, I still participated in almost all the practice activities. So,
Sure.
and I mean, playing sports all my life, like I've gone through physical hardship of running,
Yeah.
conditioning, all that. But mental toughness, you don't really learn that
You
until
don't learn. No,
you
and
get smacked
in
in the
real
mouth.
estate, in business, that's probably more important than probably anything else. I mean, I had to learn it, and I'm still learning it the hard way. But I mean, that's something that really, really becomes a big issue, right? Being able to learn that, see through that, and especially in a town like Evergreen Park, where they will give you a hard time. That just, unfortunately, it is how it is. So you get that property done.
Yep.
Now you move on to property number 2,
Yeah.
right? So where is that property? How did you come about it?
It's in Normal, Illinois.
Okay.
So Bloomington, Normal area, downstate, 55, I-55 to get there. And it's at it's at ISU, so Illinois State University. I found it on the MLS,
Okay.
and I put in my offer. I got it accepted within 2 days.
Okay.
But a little story on how and why I
Sure.
started looking out there, being
Sure.
from Burbank, Illinois. I
Right.
mean, it's a 2-hour drive there. I have my now girlfriend lives or goes to school there. Sorry.
Okay.
She goes to school there. And last year, she was a freshman, coming out of dorms, she started looking for off campus
Got it.
because the students need somewhere to live.
Sure.
So the house next door was the house they were looking for.
Got it.
$800 a month, 6 bedrooms. It's 6 of them going in there. But unfortunately that fell through because the students that are in there now renewed the lease. But as soon as she told me what the rent was going for, like what the rent's in the room by room, I started looking on the MLS.
Okay.
And the second I opened up, house was listed for 3 days.
Okay.
So
So basically, you're talking to her. Rents are super high.
Yeah.
This is kind of an opportunity, right? And you were looking for that delta, which is the rents are high and the property prices are low.
very low.
Right? Okay, got it. So now that's a unique market. I remember you sent that actually property to me.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going like, man, where is this again? Okay, it's Normal, Illinois, right? And there are some unique challenges with that area, which is it's not like suburbs of Chicago. It's not a big area. So now the question becomes are the comps going to come in?
Yeah.
Are there other properties that are similar properties? It may be great that you may get great rents.
Nothing
but,
is similar.
Can we really get a BRRRR strategy done, which is the buy, rehab, and
Rent,
basically be
refinance.
able to rent it out and refinance it, right? Is that going to be possible? So what steps did you follow?
So I went in with not worrying and knowing that I was probably going to have to leave money in the deal.
Okay.
And to start off, I mean, when we were running our comps, there was nothing sold within the last few years, anything similar to a house like this.
How many bedrooms, how many baths?
It's 6 bedrooms, 2 bath.
6 bedrooms, 2 baths. Okay.
So it's a 2,800 square foot American squared house.
Okay.
So kind of simple layout, basement, first floor, second floor rooms, attic loft area.
Got it.
And it's a ginormous house.
Sure.
And when I was running my comps, couldn't find anything. So we were just kind of ballpark numbers. I threw a ballpark ARV of in between hopefully 215 to 240.
Got it. And it's for the audience listening, it's difficult because in these types of markets, even though you may have the cash flow on the property, this is a single family house,
Yeah, it is.
right? So it's not going to be appraised like a commercial property, which is if you have a 5-unit or more, that's going to be appraised based on the cash flow on the property. So whatever the cash flow is, you're using a multiplier of that, and then that's what's going to give you what is the property worth. Here, it's going to be based on pretty much the
Comparables.
comps. And if you don't have the comps, now it becomes difficult. That truly the property value should be maybe 250, even 300. But if you don't have the comps, there's no sales. Now it becomes difficult for an appraiser to truly come up. And so you're kind of at his mercy a little bit, right? So he's going to have to take a replacement approach. He's going to have to kind of engineer that back in, right? So what did you buy the property for?
Bought it for 168. Was listed
168,
for 175.
Okay.
I put in an offer for 160. They got back to me, said 168.
Okay. So you bought it for 168. How much work?
About
15,000 in work.
which was essentially, I did all the work myself.
Okay.
Because I knew I was going to be in the hole, so I was like, I can't afford to pay somebody to do the work.
Got it.
Because that's what, 15,000, 20,000 at least in labor that would have gone for a house that size.
Got it.
So it was essentially just materials,
Okay.
floor paint, all that, a little bit of
And,
drywall.
and let's just be honest, older house,
Yeah.
right? Student housing. So this is not the most glamorous thing. It is what it is. As long as it's safe, nice, clean, that's that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's just how it is. We've all lived at some point in our life in a house like that, right? So, so on that property, right, you get it done, right? You get any big major problems you ran into?
Nothing major, but there was a little plumbing that came up.
Okay.
So I actually brought my plumber out from over here.
Okay.
That
So you took
did
your
the work.
plumber from Chicago over there? Okay. To get
Brought
the
him
work
out
done.
for the day
Okay.
because the quotes I was getting out there were ridiculous.
Okay. Got it. So you get the property done.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, is the property appraised?
Already.
Okay. How much did it appraise for?
225.
225. So you bought it for 165 or 168?
160. I actually pulled out exactly what I bought the house for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you bought it for 165, fixed it for 15,000.
Yeah.
Did the work yourself, so it's kind of sweat equity, your own labor in there, and then you got it appraised for 225, and you were able to pull out 165.
Yeah.
Now,
That was I bought it for 168, pulled out 168.
Oh, okay. So you bought it 168, pulled out 168.
Yeah.
Okay.
75%.
Not bad. That's pretty good. So on that property, as far as a loan on the back end, right? Did you go to National Refunding? Did you go to a local bank over there to be able to get a refi done? Who did you go to?
My private money lender recommended me somebody that he has his lendees use.
Okay.
So it was the name of the company is RCN Capital.
Okay. So you use Rich
Yeah,
from
Rich,
RCN.
yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Perfect.
And went smoothly with him.
Okay.
Appraiser came in. I bought it end of September, finished it first week of December. Appraiser came in next week, and I actually just got funded Friday.
Oh, just this Friday?
Yeah, I was just
wow.
here Friday.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank
That
you.
is great. So as far as your cash flow on that property, are you doing yearly leases? Are they the term of the school leases? How's that working out?
Well, it being off-campus housing, I mean, I could put my own terms.
Okay.
So I have 12-month lease in
Okay.
June to May, end of
Okay.
May, which is essentially the school year beginning August to May.
Okay.
And my PITI is about 17, a little less than 1750.
Okay. Got it.
And then I have utility allowance of about 400 a month.
Okay.
And then I just have to pay internet.
Okay.
So
Got
30,
it.
40 bucks a month.
Okay. Got it. So PITI 1,700, utility allowance of about how much did you say? 400 bucks or
400.
so? Okay. So you're somewhere around $2,100,
Yeah, it's about
Ballpark?
22.
2,200 bucks.
Yeah.
And then what is your rent collection?
It's going to be 750 a room,
$750 a room.
which is
Okay.
below market because I know my tenants.
Okay.
So it's 750 by 6, I believe it's about 45.
About 4,500. Okay, got it. And what is as far as competition wise, as far as the availability of students, right? How is that?
All the houses that are off campus rentals are always occupied.
Okay, got it. So
Usually,
it's like there's no, it's not like properties don't sit on the market for a
no,
long time. Okay,
no. And I mean, the location of my house is phenomenal.
okay,
It's a corner house. It's the first house on that block.
okay, got it.
Across the
And
street is 13-bedroom fraternity house.
okay, got it. Got it.
And all next door, I believe it's 4 houses from
Okay.
next door that are all rentals.
Okay, got it. And as far as, so you should have somewhere around $1,700 to $2,000 cash flow,
Yeah.
somewhere over there with one property, right? And then hard cash, how much hard cash do you have stuck in the deal?
I have about 20.
$20,000,
Yeah.
right? But man, I mean, if you can get even 1,700, $1,800, which I mean, even if, let's just say 1,500, it'll be better. But I mean, on $20,000, that kind of return, right? I mean, it's phenomenal.
And that's like I was saying as of now. I mean,
Right.
easily it's the best house on campus
Okay. In condition
with my
wise.
finishes, the
Okay.
finishes that I did.
Got it.
I doing the own work, I was able to do whatever I wanted.
Got it.
So I left it fairly nice.
Sure.
I mean, tile,
Right.
LVP flooring, nice paint.
Got it.
You know, the kind of the finishes we put out here, quartz countertops.
You did all of those over there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
With-
So basically, for any students coming in, they're like, oh my God, right? This
Yeah.
is in primo condition compared to
Anything
the pieces of
available.
crap that they're living
Yeah.
in, right? Okay.
So
Got it.
those pieces of crabs that are living in they're on the market for about $800 a room.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I mean, you can imagine. I mean, what I could easily charge $850.
Got it. Okay. So you planning on buying more over there?
I am.
Okay.
I eventually try to maybe possibly start cold calling the owners of the neighbors.
Okay.
I
See
can
if you
imagine.
No, because you know this is interesting because Morgantown, West Virginia, WVU, West Virginia University. That's where I got in real estate. Actually, I was like 19 years old, and I was selling real estate. And I lived like there was 2 brothers, and I lived in a lot of off-campus housing. I remember living in a basement, barely being able to not make rent sometimes. But I mean, literally, they had bought up all these houses, and some of these houses, you go up the stairs, and the stairs are crooked, right? I mean, but that's just what it was, and they made a mint. They made a mint. I mean, it's kind of funny because I'm reminded of that. And they built a multi-unit building, and I'm like, man, one day, you know, I'm gonna build one, right? I mean, like literally,
Yeah.
and I mean, these houses, I mean, they literally should have been burned down, but they would
were rented.
always buy really, really, really close to campus. They wouldn't go too far, but any junky house comes up right around campus. I mean, they would just buy that junk, and they did well with that,
Yeah, like you said, it all matters about location,
right?
being how close to campus is it.
Yeah.
From my front window, I can see the basketball arena.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So it's basically really walking distance.
Yeah, across the street is the bus stop for the bus that runs around picking up students, taking them to like actual campus
Sure.
where the classrooms are.
Got it. Got it. So for everybody watching, right? What do you say to them? Because for a lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of young people today in Mastery, right, that are kind of gung ho. Where does this sort of spirit come from? Was it you think it's because you were blessed to have a great set of parents? Was it you? Was it influence in school? Where does it come from?
I think it all starts from like having an entrepreneurial mindset.
Okay.
You gotta kind of know what you want to do.
Okay.
Obviously, real estate being something that everyone would hope wants to get into, but
Sure.
they just don't know how.
Okay.
So I think the hardest step is obviously starting.
Got it.
And I think in order to start, you just gotta begin with education.
Got it.
I'm very blessed to have, thank you, Andrew, for Mastery.
Yeah, no,
Without
we're
Mastery-
blessed to have you guys in here because you know I can kind of talk to Don Bloom in the face, but yet for somebody to take it and run with it, that's a whole another thing, right? So it's kind of exciting to see that happen, especially as people today in Mastery get younger and younger, because this is exactly where it starts, right? Your first property doesn't quite work out,
Yeah.
right? But now you're hobbling it together for your deal number 1, and then now you go to deal number 2. Nothing very glamorous. It's just a blah house. But yet somebody looks at it 3, 4, 5 years from now, they're like, oh man, you got lucky, right? And it's not that. You went through the due diligence. You went through all the the headaches, the heartaches, and then that's truly what entrepreneurship is.
Yeah, and I think a lot about real estate is like right place, right time.
Yeah,
Especially
100%.
with listings on the market on the MLS. I mean, it's just about being as quick as you can.
Right.
So I put in my offer as is.
Right.
I think that's the only reason why I got my offer accepted.
Okay. All right. So you seemed like an introvert guy, right? At least that's how you come across to me,
Yeah.
right? But did you feel kind of strange? Did you actually call the agents, or did you make your mom or somebody else call?
No, I actually called them.
You called them.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
They weren't answering it though.
Okay.
But
Got it.
I called a few times and eventually they answered.
Okay. And did you feel like funny? It's like, man, who am I pretending to be? Right? I'm only 18. I'm only 19. Did you feel that kind of the, thing that fake it until you make it type of thing?
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Okay. All right.
It's definitely like you gotta just go with the flow.
Okay. Got it. No, because that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
That's part of it because that confidence, how do you build confidence? With small successes,
Yeah.
right? Small failures, small successes, you just stack them together, and that's
them.
what builds confidence. That's what builds long-term motivation. I mean, that's just how it is. People think they're going to go from here to up here like that, and it never happens that way.
No.
It never happens that way.
It's like a graph. You slowly start making yourself.
Yeah,
go to
no,
the top.
for sure. I mean, this has really been fun because from my end, I remember when you sent me that property, right? And I actually looked up in Mastery. There's so many people today in Mastery, and I'm like, "How old are you again?" Right? Because I'm like, "Is this guy okay? He's buying normal." Because my biggest concern was, what happens on the back end?
Yeah.
And
what-
number two, with campus housing, how is that going to work out? Because obviously, at 18, 19 years old, most people, the right part of the brain is not quite working, right? So, I mean, that has its own unique challenges, right? Have you had to deal with that yet as far as signing leases? Are you going to sign leases with the students? Are you going to make their parents additionally co-sign? How's that?
So I already have my leases in for June, this coming June.
Oh,
2
you already
years.
have them in place?
Yeah, it's because I actually know who's going in there. It's gonna
Oh,
be
okay.
my girlfriend, 2 other friends that I knew from grammar school,
Okay.
and then 3 other friends.
Okay.
So
But
it's
even
6
though
girls.
these people are friends, you're going to make them sign a lease.
Yeah. So how I structured it, it's one lease,
Okay.
but there's 6 different
Co-signers. on it.
like signers. So
Okay, got
they all sign the same lease,
Got it.
and then I have parent guarantor sheets and
Okay.
forms that also get signed.
Okay. So basically, an adult is on the hook.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, as far as, have you thought about this? Because obviously, it's kind of one of those situations where you know these people, right? So, what happens in terms of damage? What happens, any of that thing? It's a standard lease. Is that correct?
Essentially, yeah, it's a standard lease.
Okay.
It kind of looks like any lease from over here, any
Okay.
rental.
Got it. Okay.
I take responsibility of repairs,
Sure.
and then obviously wear and tear
Right.
is normal.
Got it. Okay. But and the leases that you have in place now, right? What's the exact total on that in terms of total collection? What would it be as soon as they move in?
As soon as they move in, first month it's gonna be payment on the first of every month,
Right.
which is gonna be each one equaling out to 750.
750.
Yeah.
So what is that total number?
It's about 45.
45. Wow.
45?
$4,500. Okay.
month.
So $4,500 and then $2,200 or so expenses. Man, that is exciting. Oh, so about $2,300 in cash flow.
To
Got it.
start.
Okay, awesome. This makes a lot of sense. So I'm glad you came in. Guys, for everybody that's the audience that's watching, I don't know if you don't draw inspiration for this one. I don't know where else you can draw inspiration from. Anything else as we wrap up you want to share?
Yeah, it's everybody doesn't really know like how to start. I didn't either when I first got into real estate. And I think everybody should start with just educating yourself. Try to find somebody, network. Try to find somebody that's already doing what you want to do. Because like they say, I think if you hang out with 5 millionaires, you are going to be the 6th one.
Guys, there's nothing else I can say beyond that. If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th one. This is Andrew Holmes, and you're listening to Cashflow for Life. Talk to you guys soon.